Let us begin with a simple fact. Bali is one of the best destinations in the world to travel, work, and live, without a doubt. The islands of the gods truly has something unique about it. While many visitors come to Bali for extremely cheap fun, plentiful surf, and stunning beaches, there is so much more to Bali than crazy parties and perfect sunsets. The island boasts a rich and dynamic history, as well as interesting places to visit. If you want an idea of what these places are like, stick around. Tanah Lot Temple. Tanah Lot Temple, located on the coastline side of Beraban Valley, is undoubtedly the most popular and photographed temple on the island of Bali. The temple, which literally means the earth and sea, has a fitting name given its stunning location on top of an enormous rock overlooking the sea. It is one of 7 ocean temples on Bali's coast that serve as a spiritual barrier against negative energy carried by the water currents. Pura Tanah Lot is a 3-acre rock temple that can be reached in a few minutes on foot because it is only 20 meters from the coastline lip. The myths and folktales surrounding this sacred site are almost as exquisite as the temple itself. The people of Bali chose to build the Tanah Lot Temple after the holy priest Danghyang Nirarta spent the night there. According to legend, there was once a bridge connecting the mainland to the temple, but it was destroyed by the fierce sea. Another intriguing fact is that the Tanah Lot is home to a cave with a mystical spring. What is rather shocking about the spring water is that while it is fresh, the temple is encircled by salt ocean water. This cultural phenomenon is one of the 7 sea temples on Bali's shore, and has been a part of the Balinese mythology for generations. The Tanah Lot Temple still stands today, despite some deterioration, as the temple began to disintegrate in the 1980s. Around 1/3 of the rocks at the temple's base had to be substituted with artificial rocks. It's a very popular tourist destination, and the entire region is frequently very crowded, especially in the late afternoons before sunset. Inside the temple property, there are layered shrines that adhere to the core aspects of Balinese design, with the number of levels erected symbolic of the faith's intricacies. Other structures in the region show that the place is not only religiously significant, but also has archaeological worth. Although foreigners are not permitted to enter any of the temples in the complex, during low tide, you can stroll over to the main temple. It's also enjoyable to walk around the walkways, snapping pictures and taking in the breathtaking scenery. Mount Batur. You'll find hundreds of tourists start their ascension of Mount Batur's 1,700 meters every day in the early morning darkness of Bali. When they get to the summit, they take their time to enjoy the sun rising over the luscious patchwork of mountains covered in mist and the caldera far below. It is a beautiful sight to behold, and it should be at the top of your list if you're searching for a romantic getaway in Bali. In the Kintamani district of Bali's Central Highlands, around an hour's drive from Ubud, sits this revered volcano. It normally takes 2 to 3 hours to complete the very moderate hike along well-marked routes. Mount Batur is part of an active volcano that is thought to have originated 25,000 years ago in a catastrophic apocalyptic eruption. Batur was reputedly more than 3,800 meters tall before it blew its top, making it taller than Mount Agung, Bali's current largest volcano. Gunung Batur had seen nearly 24 eruptions since 1804, when records began, with the most recent occurring in 1999 to 2000. That may sound frightening, but the Indonesian government closely monitors any indicators of approaching volcanic activity, so climbing Batur is normally very safe. This sacred living volcano is located in the Kintamani district in Bali's Central Highlands, an hour's drive from Ubud. The hike is pretty straightforward and normally takes 2 to 3 hours along well-marked routes. A picnic breakfast cooked under the steam from the active volcano is usually included on guided treks. The views from the Batur caldera, the surrounding mountain range, and lovely Lake Batur, the island's main supply of irrigation water, are stunning on a clear day. Uluwatu Temple. What you may not realize is that while Bali is regarded as the island of 1,000 temples, Bali Island really has at least 20,000 temples, so it's not surprising that another temple made the list of sites to visit in Bali. I'm referring to the Uluwatu Temple in particular. The Uluwatu is also known as Pura Luhur, Ulu represents the tip or top, while Watu indicates a rock or a stone. The majestic temple is perched on a cliff top approximately 70 meters above sea level. It is one of 6 famous temples regarding as Bali's sacred pillars. The temple, like Tanah Lot Temple on Bali's gorgeous island, is noted for spectacular sunsets. The inner sanctuary of Uluwatu Temple is positioned on the cliff's edge, looming above the island's famous south-facing surf. Uluwatu Temple is a traveler's heaven due to its breathtaking ocean views and lovely kekak dance performances held at an amphitheater beside the temple. Pura Luhur Uluwatu's spectacular Balinese architecture, prehistoric carvings, and classically built entrances contribute to the temple's allure. There are several archaeological remnants around the temple, indicating that the Uluwatu Temple goes back to the 9th century. The temple features 2 entrances, one on the north side and one on the south side. The temple is surrounded by a little forest, which is home to a large number of monkeys that are said to be the faithful guardians of Bali's Uluwatu Temple. The meandering route of this lovely temple is protected by strong concrete barriers on the cliffside. It takes around an hour to walk from one end of the temple to the other. There are various walled areas along the road to the temple where you can rest or relax for a time. The breathtaking sights of the ocean waves crashing against the rocks in the breathtaking horizon will leave you speechless. Ubud Monkey Forest. One of the best things to do in Ubud, Bali, is to explore the monkey forest, also referred to as the Sacred Monkey Forest Sanctuary. It's also one of the finest points to visit in Bali if you like animals or take photos. You can stroll here in around 10 minutes from Ubud's town center. Aside from the amusing army of gray long-tailed macaques that live here, the atmospheric forest backdrop where the monkeys wander free is a big draw. Paved paths go through lush forests of gigantic banyan and nutmeg trees, where moss-covered statues and ancient temples tower through the dense vegetation, lending a mysterious aura. The forest is meant to reflect the harmonious relationship between humans and animals. It also protects endangered plants and functions as a research site for macaque behavior, especially social interaction. One of the 3 temples located here is the 14th century Pura Dalem Agung Padang Tegal, which is located on the southwest edge of the forest. You'll find hundreds of monkeys swinging among the trees and scaling the walls here. The Pura Beji, an ancient bathing temple in the northwest of the forest, is gently placed close to a refreshing stream that provides a lovely backdrop for enjoying the monkeys doing their thing. Now there's a chance you get too excited when visiting the forest, but you should try to always keep your items secure and avoid establishing direct eye contact with the animals or smiling, as this might be regarded as a sign of aggression. It is also advisable not to carry food into the area. Tegalalang and Jati Lui rice terraces in Bali. Want to go to the lovely emerald-colored rice fields you see in all the Bali travel guides and Instagram pictures? If you're a photographer, the Tegalalang or Jati Lui rice terraces ought to be at the top of your list of places to visit. The Tegalalang rice terraces are one of the most well-known locations to shoot these famous landscapes and take in their serenity, located about 30 minutes north of Ubud. Now, keep in mind that the villagers frequently demand admission and parking fees along the road and along the most well-known trail through the area's rice fields. You may unwind while taking in the lovely surroundings at one of the many eateries and cafes that look out over the fields. The Jati Lui rice terraces, which are around 90 minutes drive from Ubud and extend over 600 hectares of rice fields along the hillsides of the Batu Karu mountain range, are often less congested than Tegalalang. Also, there are fewer tourist touts here, making it simpler to go around and enjoy without being hassled. So pick any of these locations and enjoy your stay in Bali. If you like, you can visit them all.